What's going on, everybody? Today we are interviewing Darian Aldrich. He started his paper call journey roughly less than 60 days ago, and he's been completely ripping it up. He has an interesting way of getting client acquisition. He's been building a lot of relationships. Darian's been absolutely crushing it. Darian, go ahead and introduce yourself, dude, what you've done in the past and what you're currently doing now.
Yes, Hector, thank you for having me on. Yeah, man, I come from sales. My niche right out of college was getting straight into sales. Quickly, when I got into sales, I learned that sales is all about the leads, getting leads, lead generation, and just through trials and tribulations of finding out, what was the best way to get a lead, I stumbled across you guys and pay per call, and I've been in love ever since. So I'm greatly appreciative of everything you provided. But yeah, we're taking off.
Yeah, dude. What did you do before paper call? You said you were doing paper lead or what?
Yeah, so mainly yeah, trying to sell leads here and there. Leads are great, but I quickly found that, especially now with call screening, that outbound is getting kind of difficult. So joining the middleman mafia to pivot to pay per call has just been, it fits with the times, for me. So it's
No.
it's it's been great.
I got you, absolutely. And what niche were you in when you were doing paper lead?
Solar, yeah, solar, roofing, even a little bit of gutters. So I've sold it all, but yeah, those three home services businesses, and then of course now with insurance, the volume is just insane and what you can do. So
Yeah. And dude, you're pushing roughly around 100 calls a day right now, right? And you've been in for like 60 some odd days, not even, plus
we're
minus 60.
literally just getting going, and it's an avalanche. Like you said, with relationships, I've found that one happy customer in this industry leads to 20 others.
Yeah.
So it's about planting good seeds, nurturing those seeds, and letting them blossom into the trees that they become.
Yeah. And what's been the main like contributing factor or the biggest difference in paper lead to paper call? What's the biggest difference there?
For me, it's customer fulfillment. Um, Overall, like, it's a better experience when the call is coming or the lead is coming to you. I know if I when I was in sales and when I sold solar, I unknowingly was buying from a publisher, as like I was buying from a middleman, and I was buying it at that marked up rate or whatever. So it's just overall quality of conversion. Like when you switch to pay per call and somebody coming to you and you not having to reach out to them and hope that you get them on the phone, that's all the difference with pay per lead versus pay per call.
Yeah, that was one thing that really enticed me because I was doing pay per lead as well, and so I was when I was doing pay per lead, I was doing roughly right around $75,000. Like my highest months was like 75K.
Yeah.
But the issue was not the churn, but more so the client success journey because it was super hard to get somebody on the phone. So
Yeah.
me, and I've talked about this before, I came across an ad. An ad told me like the pay per call revolution. It was by Adam Young, and so basically it was a low ticket funnel to bring me to a book, and I started reading the book, and it started teaching me about pay per call. And so for me, it became realistic as well because I sold insurance, and
Yeah.
my business thrived on live transfers, which was essentially an inbound call. Um, Live transfer is a little bit different than an inbound call because people are directly calling rather than being transferred over. But my business thrived on that. And so when I came across the pay per call, it made so much sense because one, we make a healthy margin, right? We make a way better margin than selling on Amazon, than doing any type of e-commerce. We don't run 10% margins; we run 40% margins, right? In terms of like the markup. So talk to me about that right there. In terms of, I know you touched base on your client success, but talk to me about how when you were selling leads, what was like your revenue do what were you like you doing revenue wise, and then the client success on that point, kind of what I touched base on there.
Yeah. So revenue, like you said, like pay per call, the willingness to pay that markup when you bring a customer straight to your client, is a lot different than pay per lead. Like I could mark it up, maybe, I'd have a 20% margin. But in this industry, like you said, you can get 30, 40, even 50% margins if you find the right client that you're looking for. But yeah, any day of the week, if you explain it right to the client, that what the reason why your call is, 5 times more valuable than a lead, they're willing to pay your markup. It's just about building that relationship, explaining why it's valuable, and then fulfilling it. So
Most of these guys are paying for convenience. That's why we're able to mark it up so much, is because of the convenience. And these guys are close. Like as long as the CPA makes sense for them, let's say to maintain profitability, they need to be above. I mean, below a $300 CPA. Well,
right.
your guys are closing 1 out of 3. When we looked at the data, your guys are closing 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, and you're selling calls for like $80, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
And then
they're
their success quickly spreads to whoever, because they just worked, it was a 10 times easier sale than someone who's been working those outbound leads. So they'd rather, even if it's $100 more on their CPA, they'd rather pay for that $100 more so they can have more closes in the day, right?
yeah,
Because if you're gonna spend, 4 or 5, 6 hours outbound just to get one deal done, I don't care if you pay $200 or $300 more per close. I'm going to make more money because the inbound is what you call efficient.
yeah,
I can there's plenty of my clients who have full time jobs, and then they get home at 4:30 and they're on the platform taking calls, because that's what inbound allows you to do. You can treat a lot of different industries as part time jobs when you can simply go online and offline and start to receive calls. So it's been mind blowing to me, on my side, just to be able to be the one that's providing people that opportunity.
yeah. No, for sure, dude. Um, Talk to me. You have an interesting acquisition. You run ads to get clients, but you run a super low budget and it's super efficient, and you day in and day out 10x your ad spend. Talk to me about that.
Yes. So a lot of a lot of my clients, yes, I get a good amount from ad spend, but what attracts them is the content that I'm consistently posting on my story. So yes, I'm running ads, bringing attention to my page, but they're more so hooked when they see me posting my client successes. Like if somebody just closed 3 deals today, I'm going to screenshot our messages and post them on my story. That story post is there now for all of those eyes that you're bringing to the platform with your ads. So, like I've spent just under $200 in ads total, and like I've been grateful for a lot of referrals, just because, like you said, you plant good seeds, you get big trees.
Yeah.
So, yeah, your ad spend doesn't need to be crazy. Get a couple clients with that ad spend, build the relationships, and post content. Those are the things that, create a social proof environment where people trust your brand and want to go with you.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're plus or minus 60 days inside the program. Talk to me, like, why have you seen such a a vast? Why have you seen a lot of success inside of the program? Like, what has helped you? What's in the program?
Yeah.
What's inside of our Discord? What has helped you scale to where you are right now?
Yeah. So immediately before I really got going and got the resources, I was pretty nervous about, all these different moving parts. How does it all work? Just the unknown. Like when you start anything new, there's a bit of the unknown. But what the course was able to do, it literally had a video for each and every question that I had, like covering different topic points like track drive or some of the tools you'll need to learn about call routing. It's all there for you. So if you really want to learn this, like, yes, I'm sure Hector's going to be a great tool for you to use, but it's all there. So I mean, use him as a tool, but also like the videos are golden themselves. So
Yeah. Um, do you think that you can be a complete beginner and do this and broker calls?
Oh yeah, you can definitely. If you want to, you can do it. And that's a big deal. Like a lot of people say they want to do something, but you know, once you make the investment to invest in yourself, are you going to follow through? Right? All of the resources will be in front of you. It is simply comes down to do you want to do it, and that's all I can ask for. You could take a horse to water, you can't make him drink, but
Yeah. And then we also run an interesting program as well. We're all actively scaling our inbound companies, and we all hang out on Discord all day. Talk to me about how that has helped you. If that has helped you, has that helped you at all?
yeah, man. Just support groups in general are great in entrepreneurship just because like if you're building something you want to be able to connect with like minds, bounce ideas off each other, and when you're struggling you need to be able to speak to someone who understands your struggle. Like building this by myself, if I would have not been able to unmute myself and just ask a quick question when I need to, it would have been a lot harder. So
Yeah.
it just being able to have that instant access, I know you're not always available or whoever may not always be available, but a lot of times you can just unmute and ask any question that you may have.
Yeah. No, for sure, dude. And we run weekly trainings as well, like designated weekly trainings. But that's the cool thing about it, and that's why I wanted to run it this way. Like, yeah, we're not available 24/7, but we're on Discord most of the time from 9 to 5. Videos on, launching ads, doing client interviews inside of our inbound companies, uh, doing onboarding calls and things like that. Yeah, we have a team. But actually, one thing I do want to touch base on. Talk to me about the automating the process of like you build your system, you inbound company, and then some of the automating processes that you've put in place. Like, for example, you talked to me about you hired an account manager and things like that. Like,
Hmm.
walk me through how you were able to pull yourself out of the business and still scale.
Yes, yes. Big on that. Big on being able to take a couple of days of vacation and still have a business. Yeah, so you guys recommended like once I start to scale, once I started to get over 50 calls or so, that I should hire an account manager so that I could be free of my business. Somebody could onboard the new clients, answer most of their questions. That way, I'm kind of there as more of a supervisory. Probably said that wrong, but I'm there as more of like a general manager, right? So I'm good at placing people. And handling and maintaining relationships. That's all I want to do. I just want to make sure that X agency owner is happy with the service. I don't want to be able to focus too much on the day to day. I want to call them struggles, but
Yeah.
just keeping an eye, making sure you're not dropping too many calls, call compliance, like just making sure people are following the rules on your calls. It's yeah, definitely get the delegating things and automating things. You guys have definitely helped me with that.
Yeah, dude, that's fire. You're sitting roughly around 30 grand a month right now with pay per call, and that's 60 days in. So you've scaled to freaking a six-figure business super fast. What does your next 6 months look like within the business?
Well, 100 is the next mark. I said 50 was the next mark, but 30 is good enough for that first benchmark. And now I'm shooting for 100
Yeah.
because I figured if you can get to 100 a month, then you got $1 million business. So and that's $1 million business profit. I like that's great. Like, and if you keep that up for a year or two, your financials are clean. You could exit that at whatever multiple, but or you could just keep it. But yeah, it's been great. I'm shooting for the stars for sure.
Yeah. So you're actually looking to exit.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's the end goal, right? But in the meantime, I will enjoy all of the cash flow that it brings for sure.
Absolutely, dude. And that's something that I try our best to hang our hat on is like, yeah, we're building a business, but we're not doing something right now and then switching later. You literally can build this business, automate it, scale it, and exit. And so that's something that we do pour in to you guys and try our best to pour into. It's like, hey, we're not doing this just for right now. We are, all of us inside the program are trying to exit our companies. Um, but yeah, Darian, is there anything else that you feel as if like you would want somebody to know when they first come in, or any advice that you can give them before we hop off of here?
Uh, man, follow the. I take all the resources that's being offered to you and use them to the best of your advantage. Like he didn't make all these videos for you not to watch them. It's dang near a library of content, so it covers it from A to Z what you need to succeed. So just want it enough. Like I know, like if you're investing in this, you're somewhat serious to begin with, but just like take it even further. Like lead gen, if you were big in lead gen, you'll be even bigger in pay per call. Like it's going to amplify you. So
Absolutely, dude. Well, Darian, I want to say I appreciate you, man, for hopping on here. You have a really interesting story, dude. To be honest, in terms of like the way you run ads, the way how fast you've scaled your business, and like the lock-in period has been very inspiring to pretty much everybody in the group right now. And what's crazy is we're actually sitting on Discord too. So these
right
guys are
now,
able to, yeah, right now. So,
yeah, yeah,
um, Darian, I appreciate it, dude. For everybody watching, there's going to be a link below. Go ahead and click on it. If you want to see the full training from A through Z of how to start your pay-per-call business. Again, Darian, I appreciate you.
thanks
And
again, Hector. Let's get
hell
these
yeah,
millions, man.
let's do it, bro.